back at it on this Thursday, 18th day of March, 2021. Wake up Wenatchee Valley safely on the air. We are live here from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee. Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us. Beautiful morning. We've had a gorgeous stretch of weather. Change is afoot, though. Change is afoot for tonight and tomorrow and a little bit into the weekend. National Weather Service pointed out to me earlier today that it seems odd that we have not hit 60 degrees yet this year. Normally we do, as of course we're in the very last few days of spring with the Vernal Equinox coming on early Saturday morning. And normally this time of the year we have at least a couple of days that pop up into the lower 60s. That hasn't happened yet. Moses Lake hit 62 yesterday, 60 in Spokane. Warmer still in the Tri-Cities, but we haven't really got there. Now, we may today. We're going to be right at that 60-degree mark, we think. Forecast details are coming up. Governor Inslee was in town yesterday touring the Town Toyota Center mass vaccination site. Our cameras were there. As you might imagine, we'll have a full report on that in the back half of the program, including his press conference following his tour of the Town Toyota Center. We'll have that when we get to the news. And there is some other COVID-related news as well. Sports starting to get closer to the weekend. We'll preview some of the action we'll be televising here on the NCAA Live channel. Also, the Seahawks are finally starting to talk a little free agency, getting off the schneid. Pretty quiet for the first couple of days of the free agency window in the NFL, but now the Seahawks are starting to make a little bit of noise. We'll talk about that. Plus, we'll have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays, and everyone is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. 36 degrees, high clouds, 2 minutes after the hour. Let's take our tour, and we begin always, when we can, with the cross camera. It's not located on the cross. It's on a tower adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. It's absolutely a spectacular view. Every time I look at this, it reminds me of why I live here. It is a phenomenal area that we live in, is it not? The mighty Columbia, which doesn't really roll along much anymore. The Columbia River, of course, used to be really fast. Now it's just a series of reservoirs. It's what happens when you dam it up. But if it wasn't for the Columbia, we wouldn't be here. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley, and look at those pink clouds high above Birch Mountain. Beautiful view there. All right, Megan's choice. She throws it up. I get to guess. I'm thinking Lower Butte. Yay, Lower Butte. Got one right. Good morning, Lake Chelan. Of course, this is a perfect example. Look at the lake. You can see how low it is. This is the time of the year when the lake is as low as it gets. The engineering marvel that is, that they can control the level of Lake Chelan, is something beyond me, but it is pretty phenomenal. This is the time of the year where people who have homes and cabins right along the lakeshore get the work done for their docks and things like that, because it's very hard to build a dock and the foundations and all that stuff when there's 9 feet of water in front of your home. So a lot of that work is going on. Good morning to Lake Chelan, camera number 3. It's a slow dissolve to the Tumwater. Nope. That's Steins. Yay, I almost said Tumwater. Almost threw me for a loop, but then again, I could see the Cashmere Golf Course in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Maybe that says something about me, that I have to use golf courses as my point of reference to whatever camera we're looking at. So good morning to Cashmere. We will be up there in Cashmere tomorrow night for the Pear Bowl. Looking forward to that. Camera number 4. It's a beautiful sunrise too. Wow, speaking of beautiful sunrises, although it's not officially up yet, that is unbelievable view of that area there. Help me out, Megan. That's number 1 candy. Wow, we haven't used that one for a while. Look at that salmon pink colored sky. Gorgeous there. Sun is just now starting to come up. It will officially be up in about 2 more minutes, 7:07 this morning for sunrise. Sunset tonight, 7:11, 12 hours and 4 minutes of daylight. We're getting about 3 minutes of daylight gained per day. And of course, as we mentioned before, the Vernal Equinox will be at 2:37 Saturday morning. I will not be awake for the Vernal Equinox. Some gorgeous views from our high-definition PTZ cameras all over north central Washington. So through the weekend, what are we looking at? There is some changes coming. Going to be pretty nice today. Again, we may very well get to that 60-degree mark for the first time this year. We hit 56 yesterday. It's going to be partly sunny, maybe a few more clouds today, but that's what we're looking at for today. Many locations will be in the 60s. We'll maybe 60, maybe upper 50s might be more like it. Then the big change comes on Friday as an approaching cold front will pay us a visit. We're going to cool down, not dramatically, just a few degrees on Friday. The big story is going to be rain tonight into Friday morning, and then we'll have fairly cloudy skies Friday night for the football game, and then for the weekend, kind of unsettled with temperatures just about normal. Right around 55 is our normal high temperature. No big dramatic weather coming our way. The one thing we're keeping an eye on as this cold front moves in is some rain showers will be accompanying the passing front, which is coming in tonight. In fact, from the National Weather Service, your forecast in detail looks something like this. Again, partly cloudy skies during the day, maybe a light raindrop. It'll be late in the day if it happens at all, and we'll get right around 60 degrees, we think, for the afternoon high, 36 for the overnight low tonight. Again, some rain tonight, good chance of it, about a 70% chance of rain for the Wenatchee Valley. Could even see a pop-up thunderstorm, but probably just some light showers. And we'll get down to about 36 degrees. You're going to wake up with a few raindrops Friday morning, perhaps. Then the sun will be back with a high of 57, 35 for the overnight low Friday night, with a slight chance of a light raindrop on Friday night, only about a 20% chance, so we don't throw it up there. Saturday morning, a few clouds and then lots of sunshine. We'll top off in the mid-50s. Going to be a little breezy, by the way, on Saturday and Sunday, for that matter. Some residual breezes from the front that comes in. We're going to cool down a little bit below normal on Sunday with a high of 53. And then Sunday, by the way, the first full day of spring. And then we open up spring officially on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with spring-like weather, typical mid to late March weather. Nothing really happening there. Again, rain tonight, good chance of it, about a 70% chance of precipitation tonight for most of our viewing area. It could spill over into early Friday morning, but all in all, no real dramatic weather out there. Passes are fine too. There are no advisories or restrictions. We're going to wrap up their pass reports at the end of this month because the DOT does the same thing. So we just follow their example. That's in a live shot of I-90, the roadway, bare and dry. Stevens Pass, roadway is bare and dry. A couple of wet spots, but that's it. No advisories, no restrictions. Blow it, you're good to go. Roadway bare and dry. As far as snow in the mountain passes, none until tonight. They're going to get about 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight, about 2 inches on I-90, about 4 inches on Stevens Pass, and that's going to be right at the summit level. The snow level is going to drop down to about 3,000 feet, right around there. So you can expect a little bit of light snow in the Cascades tonight, and then a dry weekend. Right now, you're fine. You're good to go. 8 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. When we come back, we have your Thursday morning news. You are watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
It's March, and Click It RV Moses Lake has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you liked and build it, price it, and click it. Or come to our huge selection, from travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge indoor-outdoor RV show is here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee only at Click It RV Moses Lake and ClickItRV.com.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
9 minutes after the hour, we have a few high clouds as the sun begins to rise. We're at 36 degrees. Could get to 60 today, the warmest day of the year. We haven't gotten to 60 yet. Some rain tonight and fairly quiet weather coming up for the weekend. Here are your headlines. Governor Jay Inslee made a visit to Wenatchee's mass inoculation vaccination site yesterday afternoon, about a month after an earlier planned visit had to be canceled because of the weather. The governor toured the Town Toyota Center alongside First Lady Trudy Inslee. The drive-through site is one of 4 throughout the state run by the Department of Health and the Washington National Guard, which has successfully administered more than 111,000 vaccine doses against COVID-19. After their tour, the Inslees went on to visit a mobile vaccination clinic in Chelan, established by Chelan fruit. The governor's press conference, by the way, following his tour of the Town Toyota Center, will air in the second half of this program. For the first time in weeks, the rate of positive COVID-19 cases in Chelan and Douglas counties actually went up. In its weekly thermographic report on Wednesday, the Chelan-Douglas Health District saw the rate of new cases per 100,000 residents over the last 2 weeks just under 141. That's up from the 117 new cases per 100,000 residents the health district reported last week. But the numbers are still relatively low compared with the new cases that were being reported late last year and into January and February of this year. Chelan County is ahead of most of others in the state when it comes to its rate of coronavirus vaccinations. The State Department of Health reports that more than 29% of county residents have received at least one of their 2 required shots. And that puts Chelan third on the state, only behind Clallam and Jefferson counties. There are several reasons for this. Obviously, the state-run mass vaccination side of the Town Toyota Center has administered about 27,000 doses alone. But Confluence Health and Columbia Valley Community Health together account for about 20,000 shots given since vaccines became available back in December. All told, about 19% of Chelan County residents are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That comes out to about 15,500 people. Wednesday marked a new day in Washington's COVID-19 vaccination program. Essential workers in agriculture, food processing, grocery stores, and public transit, they're now eligible to receive their shots. The Chelan-Douglas Health District says the Wenatchee Valley here, this means an estimated 8,000 to 12,000 more people of any age can sign up through the state's Prep Mod scheduling tool to find a vaccine opportunity, or you can contact your healthcare provider. The state is asking workers in those fields to coordinate with their employers and obtain proof of employment to show when they go get their vaccinations. A federal grand jury in Spokane on Tuesday indicted a Moses Lake man on an illegal explosives charge. 32-year-old Timothy Richard Ray Riggins could face up to 10 years if he's convicted. The indictment stems from this arrest by Moses Lake police back in November of 2019 when they investigated a domestic violence complaint and they found Riggins hiding in a washing machine. In the process, they allegedly recovered 3 improvised bombs made from large commercial fireworks with nails taped to the outside. Now, Riggins has been awaiting trial ever since. Last year, he skipped bail. He was sought as a fugitive for a couple of months. He remains held in the Grant County Jail. Liberty Orchards, the cashmere company that has been manufacturing applets and cutlets for more than 100 years, is going to close their doors come June, although the owners of the company are still looking for a buyer. Company president Greg Taylor, who's been with the business for more than 40 years, told us what led to the decision to close and what the community has meant to the success of Liberty Orchards.
We had decided several years ago to try to sell the business. You know, we kind of decided that if we were unable to sell the business, we'd close the business, but we wanted to give it some time to sell. And, you know, we've given it close to 3 years, and we've been closed several times, but weren't able to put a deal together, and so we've decided it's time to close the doors. But we're still trying to sell it. Still trying to sell the assets of the business. We've got brands, we've got recipes, we've got customer list, we've got goodwill, we've got equipment to make our product. Currently we have buildings to make it in because we own the property, but we're still trying to sell it, but we have set a date for closing the business. We're very proud of the history of the company. We've made it for 101 years, or maybe even 102 or 103, depending upon when you start counting. We've employed a lot of people, provided for families. We've brought joy to our customers, our retail customers, and the consumers of our products, and we've tried to do business honorably, and we're very proud of all of that, and we're very appreciative of our employees who've been with us for so many years. We're very appreciative of our customers and our suppliers and the community. The town of Cashmere in particular has supported us all these years. They even changed a couple of the street names in our honor, and so we're indebted to the town of Cashmere and the region generally.
Finally, speaking of Kashmir, the last remnant of the old West Kashmir Bridge, sometimes called the Goodwin Bridge, was removed Tuesday. Workers using a giant crane to hoist a piece of steel weighing more than 100,000 pounds onto a waiting trailer. Work on the $19.3 million bridge replacement project expected to be completed come December. And that's what's making headlines at 15 minutes after the hour. We will have a newscast for you tonight. Grant in the anchor chair, Eric handling sports, and the rest of the crew gathering and disseminating the news so you can be an informed viewer. And with a preview of tonight's newscast, here's Grant.
Thanks and good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will have more on Governor Jay Inslee's visit to Wenatchee yesterday. Wet weather headed our way tomorrow night and into Friday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will let you know about all the live sports we'll have for you this weekend right here on the NCW Life channel. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. And don't forget, it's also available for you to peruse online. We'll have our news up and running right around 5 o'clock. You can watch it via our YouTube page with links on our homepage and on our Facebook page. And speaking of Facebook, one of the ways you can get a hold of us is using the Facebook Messenger app. Just type in NCW Life and drop us a note. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or you can use our website, ncwlife.com, and use the contact icon at the top of the page. When we come back, Seahawks are finally making some noise in the world of free agency. More Mariner spring training action, a preview of the weekend in sports, plus the obscure holiday today in history. We have some celebrity birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And Governor Jay Inslee's press conference from yesterday afternoon at the Town Toyota Center. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special. Chelan Wireless is your Verizon authorized retailer featuring the latest iPhone and Android devices. Personal or business, they have the plan and the customer service you're looking for.
In these challenging times, Bear Foods is open and ready to help. From health to diet to home, we are here to take care of your needs. Bear Foods, the good food store.
From home furnishings to the latest in home entertainment technology, Deepwater Home and Electronics can provide the selection and the connection for your wireless world. 18 minutes after the hour, the ever-widening world of sports. It was a quiet beginning to free agency, but the Seahawks are finally starting to make some noise. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting that Seattle is expected to sign former San Francisco cornerback Akello Witherspoon. He's 6'3" tall. He's 26 years old. He's expected to compete for the spot that was vacated by Shaquille Griffin. Seattle also made a trade to get help on the offensive line. Guard Gabe Jackson coming over in a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders. He was a third-round pick back in 2014. He spent his entire career with the Raiders. Comes to the Seahawks for a 2021 fifth-round draft pick. He's expected to take up the starting spot that was vacated by the retirement of Mike Uopati. And Seattle also picked up former Rams tight end Gerald Everett. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the free agent signed with the Seahawks. It's a one-year deal, $7 million. That's exactly what I make, by the way. Everett will reunite with the new Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, who was with the Rams for all 4 of his seasons in Los Angeles. The NCAA men's basketball tournament begins today. It is the first 4, is what they call it. You got Texas Southern faces St. Mary's at 2:10. That'll be followed by Drake and Wichita State at 3:27. Then Gonzaga will be watching closely as it sees who they'll take on in the first round. It'll be either Appalachian State or Norfolk State. They'll play at 5:40. And finally, UCLA and Michigan State for the last chance for the big dance. Gonzaga coach Mark Few is a finalist for the Naismith Coach of the Year award alongside Baylor's Scott Drew, Michigan's Juwan Howard, and Alabama's Nate Oates. Gonzaga completed its first ever undefeated season under Few and enters the NCAA tournament as only the 5th unbeaten team since Indiana ran the table in 1976. Few won the Naismith Award in 2017 when the Bulldogs made it to the championship game before they lost to North Carolina. Fans can vote on the Naismith Award beginning Friday at naismithfanvote.com. Everybody into the pool at the Eastmont Aquatic Center. It's high school swimming and diving today. Wildcats will host the Panthers and the Chiefs for the second time this season. That meet gets underway at 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's one volleyball match on the schedule. Bridgeport will host Cascade Christian Academy tonight at 6:30. Prep soccer today. OMAC has a 3 o'clock game at St. George's School. At 4 o'clock, you got Lake Roosevelt entertaining Pateros. High school football gets underway early. There's a game tonight. The Waterville Mansfield Shockers will travel to Soap Lake to take on the Eagles. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Here's what we have on our broadcast schedule. It's Thursday. That means hockey night tonight. It's the Wild and the Vipers from March 1st of last year. The puck drops at 7 o'clock. Our good buddy Art Checker on the play-by-play. Eric and Grant will be in Kashmir for the Pear Bowl tomorrow night. Bulldogs and the Kodiaks. Coverage at 6:30. Kickoff at 7. And then on Saturday, it's the rematch between the undefeated Eastmont Wildcats and the one-loss Wenatchee Panthers. Girls soccer, Wildcat Stadium, East Wenatchee. Sebastian Moraga, Matt Wiesen, the call. Pre-game at 12:50. The match begins at 1 o'clock. The Angels jumped on Seattle starter Chris Flexen for 6 runs in the first 2 innings. LA went on for the 7-4 win over the Mariners. Cactus League play yesterday. Flexen ended, what did he do? 3 innings, 6 runs, 9 hits. Gave up a home run, struck out 4, gave up a walk. The lone bright spot for Seattle came at the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded. Up to the plate comes Evan White.
3-2 with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He was aggressive on that, baby. Swing and a drive and a grand slam for Evan White. He'd taken a healthy cut right before, and this time didn't miss it.
Well, I mentioned that he had a pretty good night last night, and as a hitter, you want to gain some momentum and build on it, and that's exactly what he's able to do. Works the count back to 3-2, and here's the fastball. He missed it earlier in the count. He does not miss that one.
Mariners will be in Scottsdale to take on the San Francisco Giants tonight, 7:05. Just 11 more spring training games left for the Mariners before they open up at home against the Giants on April 1st. Just 14 more days until opening day of the baseball season. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday. It's 23 minutes after the hour. I had 3 obscure holidays on the menu. That's a hint right there. Today is National Biodiesel Day. Today is National Awkward Moments Day, also known as Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. But no, even though I try to avoid the food ones, Sloppy Joes are just, they're Sloppy Joes. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Sloppy Joes. Perfect meal to make if you want to feed people something somewhat hearty, but you don't want to put a lot of effort into it. You know, grab a pound of meat, a can of manwich, some hamburger buns. You're in like Flynn. And, of course, tater tots. I don't know why, but somehow it's Sloppy Joes and tater tots, not French fries. I have no idea. Where does Sloppy Joes come from? Some say Havana, Cuba, at a bar and cafe called the Sloppy Joes in the early 1900s. Others say it was a guy named Joe in Sioux City, Iowa in the 1920s. He called it a loose meat sandwich. And then it kind of became Sloppy Joes. What revolutionized Sloppy Joes? Well, Hunt's. And when they came out with Manwich in 1969, the Sloppy Joe sauce. Other companies make Sloppy Joe sauces, but they pretty much have that pretty much locked up. It depends on where you go in the United States as to what they call Sloppy Joes. Some places still call them loose meat sandwiches. Others call Sloppy Joes dynamites, goulash, Sloppy Janes, slush burgers, steamers, wimpies, and yum-yums. Sloppy Joes. Don't forget to toast the bun. Very important. Toast the bun in the broiler. Adds a little bit of crunchiness to your Sloppy Joe. National Sloppy Joe Day. Always celebrated on May 18th because the internet told me to. What do we got here for today in history? It's a friendly reminder that, you know, the Revolutionary War, some of it was us casting off the shackles of King George and religious freedom and taxation without representation. And some of the Revolutionary War was simply Great Britain screwing up And on this day back in 1766, they tried to fix their screw up. The British Parliament on this date in 1766, 255 years ago, they repealed the Stamp Act, which was 1 year after it was imposed. When they imposed the Stamp Act, of course, it didn't go over very well with the folks over here. They assembled, they set petitions, they protested, they held a special Congress in New York City to say this is stupid, no taxation without representation. They petitioned the Parliament and the King to get rid of the Stamp Act. They did, but it was too late. The fuse was already lit. Stamp Act repealed, but the revolution was the seeds of the revolution were planted and were getting going back in 1766. Happy birthday to the Stanley Cup. That's the original Stanley Cup. Now it's the top of it, of course. It gets bigger. 129 years ago today, the former Governor General Lord Stanley pledges to donate a Silver Challenge Cup as an award that goes to the best hockey team in Canada. It is now known as the Stanley Cup. It is the oldest existing trophy to be awarded to a professional sports team in North America. The Stanley Cup has been awarded a combined 103 times by 20 current teams and 5 teams that no longer exist. It was not awarded in 1919 because of the Spanish flu epidemic, and it wasn't awarded in 2005 because there was no NHL season in 2005. They had the lockout. Happy birthday to the Stanley Cup. And be on the lookout for a bunch of art, because they still haven't found it. March 18th, 1990, 31 years ago today, the largest art theft in U.S. history. 12 paintings, collectively worth about $500 million in today's money, stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. How do they do it? Guards admitted 2 men who were dressed and posed as police officers. They said we're responding to a disturbance call. So the guards let in the police officers who weren't really police officers. The thieves tied up the guards, and then they had the whole place to themselves for about an hour. And they made off with all kinds of stuff. No arrests have ever been made. All the works, all 12 paintings have never been recovered. There's still a $10 million reward for information leading to the artwork, which is hanging in somebody's living room somewhere, I suppose. Where did you get that painting, Al? I can't tell you. Birthdays, we always do presidents. Grover Cleveland, born on this date in 1837. He was both the 22nd and 24th president of the United States. Died in 1908 at 71. Yeah, he is the only president in American history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, along with Woodrow Wilson, one of only 2 Democrats elected president in the 72 years between 1860 and 1932 that Republicans pretty much had stranglehold on the White House. When Grover Cleveland was the sheriff of Erie County, it was his duty to execute the convicted murderers, or he had to pay a fine to avoid the responsibility. He could pay somebody else $10 to do it, but Grover Cleveland was pretty tight with the old wallet, so he chose to actually do the hanging himself. He actually hung Patrick Morrissey and John Gaffney rather than pay the $10 fine to have his deputy do the deed. He's the only president that I know of who actually did that. During the election of 1884, he was accused of fathering a child out of wedlock. It was going to be a huge scandal. Nobody was going to vote for this guy, and Grover Cleveland said, yeah. Paid the child support, visited the child. Whole thing blew over. People appreciated his honesty. Got elected. He's the only president ever to get married while in the White House. To Frances Folsom was her name. He was 49. She was 21. They had a good marriage. They had 5 kids. He's the only president to be married in the White House. And he had a tumor removed from the roof of his mouth while he was president, but nobody was told about it until 1917, 9 years after Grover Cleveland died. Born in the state in 1837. And I follow the New Zealand national rugby team. That's one of the teams I follow on a regular basis, as you well know. And we want to wish Rico Ione a happy birthday. He's one of my favorite rugby players on the New Zealand national rugby team. Speaking of scrums, they had a press scrum yesterday at the Town Toyota Center with Governor Jay Inslee. We're going to have that for you when we return. Plus, Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. You're watching a Thursday edition of Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Live channel.
It's March, and Click It RV Moses Lake has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you like, then build it, price it, and click it. Or come to our huge selection. From travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge indoor-outdoor RV show is here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee. Only at Click It RV Moses Lake and ClickItRV.com.
Be a winner like me and get to Click It RV.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I-dos to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
Hi, I'm Shauna Larson. I'm the designated broker here at Laura Mounter Real Estate. We are a locally owned firm, and we've worked hard to earn our reputation of always doing business the right way. Laura Mounter Real Estate is continually investing in the best technologies and highest quality marketing. For these reasons, our community has voted us the world's best real estate office for the past 5 years. If you have real estate needs, let a Laura Mounter real estate agent show you the difference.
Need a break from reality? Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities, with service and support to keep you soaking and giving you the absolute best ownership experience. Free flow plug-and-go spas for as little as $45 a month. There's a hot tub for everyone at Central Washington Water. Shop screen to screen, in-store, or a backyard consultation with one of our wellness team members. Central Washington Water, your water experts.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a four-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, okay, I need to know. Does my wife Rosie have some kind of superpower? It seems like everywhere I'm about to go, she either gets there first or gets in my way. Now, the other day I was about to get a paper towel, and as soon as I turned in that direction, she got between me and the paper towel dispenser. And she put something in the trash. You know, another time I just turned to go into our kitchen computer, and as I headed there, she got in front of me, already sitting down at the desk. You know, and it's not just in our home where this happens, it's everywhere. And not only that, just as I'm about to do something, like open a window, she says to me, Mike, open the window. This happens all the time. Now I need to know, does every wife do this? I really think I need to report this to someone. I mean, this is a miracle. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Today, we're doing some employee development with our technicians.
Today, we're going to learn how to give our home a hug.
It's not just a motto, but a unique way that Patriot technicians care for your home.
Oh, no, come on. You're really really got to get in there and get your arms around it, give it a good embrace. All right, hey, good job.
I think the training is going really well.
Heating and cooling will give your home a hug.
For almost 30 years, Link has been providing transit service to Chelan and Douglas counties. Now Link wants your input to make your transit system even better. Our region is growing in leaps and bounds, and public transit needs to improve to keep pace with this growth. We want to make public transit more efficient, more accessible, and more convenient for the people we serve, but we can't build a better system without you. So please make your voice heard and tell us how transit service can be designed to best serve you by taking our survey at www.movinglinkforward.com. Link Transit, your way to go.
What is it about Tipsy Canyon Winery that keeps people coming back? Is it the magnificent view from the hillside tasting room? Is it the exceptional but affordable wines? Or is it just the fact that you feel right at home from the minute you walk through the door? Actually, it's all this and more. Experience the Tipsy Canyon Winery located just outside of Manson. Your new home away from home.
36 minutes after the hour, Governor Jay Inslee and First Lady Trudy Inslee visited Wenatchee's mass vaccination site on Wednesday, meeting with medics and volunteers who's been administering the shots, about 27,000 shots so far against COVID-19 since January. The drive-through site is one of 4 throughout the state run by the Department of Health and the Washington National Guard. And after their tour, the Inslees went on to visit a mobile vaccination clinic in Chelan, established by Chelan Fruit. Here's what the governor had to say in a media press conference after his tour.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Lieutenant Davis, Washington National Guard, and Tika, pronounce your name for me again? A day again for our department doing work. We just finished a most impressive tour of this mass vaccination site. I'm so happy that our state has been able to work with so many partners here in the Valley to get this incredibly efficient operation going. As you know, our state has set up 4 of these sites, 3 of them in eastern Washington. And I can tell you that people are hearing good things about the Wenatchee site all over the state of Washington, both on its efficiency of doing 1,100 already, 1,100 vaccinations a day, with capacity to go to 2,000 with minimal changes, and much more than that with a few more lanes. And we think this bodes well for our future, because we are going to have significantly increased doses coming to the state of Washington. This is tremendous news. And to be able to have the confidence that Wenatchee can deliver on an efficient basis is really great news. But it is not just efficiency, it's compassion in making this accessible to everyone that's also very impressive to me. So what I've been told is that maybe 10%, maybe more of the appointments that are made here are made by phone, so people can get access who may not have computer connections and the like. This is important to make sure we have access, because we want equitable access to this vaccine so that everyone, regardless of their circumstances or their race or income level, can get access to this vaccine. So the fact that they have been able to really figure out a way to make that accessible is very, very important. Now, it is important to say, too, this site is not the only game in town. Luke and otherwise is going to have really robust outreach efforts to go out where people are who do have transportation difficulties. I'm going north to Chelan today to look at one of the first sort of pop-up mobile clinics to get to people who work in the agricultural industry, so that we can get to people who may not have good transportation. This is an extremely important part of our effort to have equity throughout the distribution system. So I couldn't be more pleased what I've seen here today. It is remarkable to me of how people can work together so quickly to stand up a site like this, both from the Guard and the professions and Confluence and your regional, your county health authority, and the volunteers. I just met some volunteers, both who are pharmacists and former teachers. It's just inspiring to me to see these volunteers who really come to the fore and step up. We need them, and they're going to be there. So good news today in Wenatchee. And I just wondered, Lieutenant or Tika, do you guys want to say anything? You can if you want. It's up to you. Maybe ask you a question. Okay. They agree with the governor. It's amazing. So, Luke, did you want to say anything from the county at all? We got, come on up here and tell them about the county operation here.
Thank you, Governor Inslee. I appreciate that. I just want to say from the county, we're just so grateful. The governor has come to visit us, and the partnerships between the Department of Health, National Guard, Confluence, Town Toyota Center, and all of our partners locally. You know, as the governor stated, it's a pretty incredible opportunity to have all of our partners working together in concert to try to get the vaccine out to as many people as possible. And so I just want to say thank you.
All right. Thank you, Luke, for your efforts. Basically, what we're seeing here today is both the Wenatchee Valley coming together and the luck of the Irish. So we have both of us working for us today. With that, I'm happy to stand any questions you might have about this or anything else for that matter, I suppose. Yeah.
Sir, you've asked or directed all schools to go back to offering some form of in-person instruction. However, young people are still not eligible for the vaccine in Washington. Montana just recently changed their way of approaching it so that all people 16 and over, the Pfizer vaccine works for 16 and over, would be eligible starting April 1st. Is there any thought to making this vaccine more accessible soon to young people who might be going back to class, restarting their social lives, being very mobile when they have their driver's license, et cetera?
Well, obviously, we want to get the vaccine accessible to everyone as fast as humanly possible. What we're doing right now is to working through tranches, starting with the most vulnerable people, going to essential workers, going to people with comorbidities, and it's in a relatively near future, everyone will have access to this vaccine, not in years, but in weeks. So that's really good news. It is not today. Today we are opening up the access to the vaccine to essential workers and those with disabilities. And this is really important for the Wenatchee Valley, because we have some essential workers who are doing some of the most essential work in human history, which is feeding us. And the agricultural workers are today now eligible for this vaccine. And we are very excited about that, because some of our agricultural workers who are doing this incredible work putting food on our table have actually been bitten by this COVID the worst. The Hispanic community is about 13% of our state, but they've had about 30% of the infections. So this has not been a fair virus. And the fact that we're eligible today now to get the agricultural community workers together with teachers and grocery store workers who've also been helping, and bus drivers, I'm thrilled that we're being able to do this today. But we've got to have, we don't have enough vaccines for everybody, and rather than having a big scramble with 7 million people, we've decided to have these tranches depending on your prioritization. Now, we also have available today those with disabilities. Folks with a variety of disabilities also become available. And in the near future, we will be announcing the next tranches, which will be people with comorbidities and the like, who have some disease process that makes them more susceptible. So to answer your question, yes, we will get to these folks. We're pleased we're going back to school. I'm excited that since our emergency proclamation we issued yesterday, Monday, we've had a number of school districts come to agreements to move forward to get kids back into on-site learning. This is hugely exciting to, I know, all of us, including Trudy and myself, because we have 3 children in Kitsap County schools, and they got to go back on site about 3 weeks ago. And when we asked them what it was like the first day of school, one of them said it was awesome, and the other one said, my teacher said it made her heart happy. So that's a pretty good day, and we're doing those things all across the state of Washington.
Is there any thought to allowing counties more autonomy in how they distribute the vaccinations? I know you've previously said you don't want vaccine tourism, but if a county can step into place, because every county can go at a different speed, would there be some ability for counties to move further along the process if, for example, they've been able to do all of the phase 1B1, and now they're just waiting for the permission to go to phase 1B2?
Well, we haven't done that on a formal basis. What we have told counties that, look, we don't want you wasting vaccines. If you've got 10 doses left over and you have somebody not necessarily in the priority that day, by all means, don't waste vaccines. Get them into arms. So in some sense, we're having some modest version of that. But we would prefer to have more of a consistent prioritization across the state, and we're trying to keep that as consistent as possible. So doing that on a grand scale, probably not at the moment. But we think the systems have been really good matching the demand with the capacity so far, so we haven't had much of that problem. But we are moving these tranches forward earlier so we don't run into that problem. That's one of the reasons we advanced this tier to today. It was going to be a week from today. We advanced it a week earlier so we could make sure we had enough demand to fill the spots in these lanes out here. That's one of the reasons we moved it in advance. So I think we'll be successful not wasting any dosages moving forward. Would you like to add in? Is that a right description? Or?
I think it's fair and accurate.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Is there any ideas or efforts being made to kind of streamline or centralize the registration process? I've seen some suggestions about local clinics are letting people sign up who aren't in phase yet, but will let them know when they're eligible to get vaccinated.
Well, we are making every effort to have a streamlined system as possible. When you go on Phase Finder, you certainly can find that now. We can't tell you the date at the moment for some of the later tiers, but we can tell you what phase you will be in. And so that is available to people. But we are continually trying to upgrade the software to make it an easier experience for people. Over the last few weeks, it has become easier, and we'll do the best job we can. Tika, is there anything you can add to that?
No, that's correct, Mr. Governor.
Okay, got it.
I believe the president recently said his goal is to make all adults eligible by May 1st. Your strategy right now is mapped out through phase 1B4 and not beyond that. Can you hit that deadline? And at what point will people who aren't part of these known groups right now get an idea of when they'll be eligible for vaccination?
Yeah, we have not made those decisions yet. We're still evaluating some of the most recent usage patterns. We'll know more, we hope, in a few days as we look at how fast people are going through this tranche. So the answer to your question is we don't know the answer today, but we will, in the weeks to come, obviously. It is an ambitious target, but we are seeing increasing production of these sites. And every time a guard medic, does an injection, we get closer to that opportunity. So we'll have more to say in the upcoming weeks. Yeah. By the way, if I can, I'll tell you some really good news. The production of the system has increased so significantly. To be able to even think about a May 1 target is really great news. And I credit the Biden administration for putting the pedal to the metal. And we do have confidence in the production. I spoke to the CEO of Pfizer last week, and listening to him, I'm quite confident that the targets that we're talking about in production are going to be met. So that's really good news. And we have good news in Wenatchee increasing the logistical capability as well. Yeah.
Are people going to be using their vaccination cards for doing certain activities or traveling eventually?
It's a possibility, but we don't have any immediate plans for, a vaccine passport or anything like that. So that's going to be an evolutionary process. Not at the moment. We don't have any DOH plans to think about it from a certification standpoint. Yeah.
Sir, there was an article in a magazine called The Week just yesterday that compared Washington's performance against New York State. And of course, Washington beats many other states in the metrics of how it's coped with the virus. So if there's one particular lesson you think you would pass on to other states that you've learned in this process about pandemic response, can you characterize what that would be?
First, if you're going to be governor of the best state in the nation, and that's Washington. So that's the first advice. By the way, we were, as they say, I'm not making this up. As you know, U.S. News and World Report ranked us best state in the nation 2 years in a row. And our response to COVID has reflected a state that embraces science, that works together, that forms partnership like we see here. This is an example of what Washington does. And sort of it has persistence and a compassion for each other. I think our success is a testament to the kind of values, the culture of the state of Washington. Now, some of the things we've done on a state level certainly have helped by some of our decisions, but I just think it's a feather in our cap how well we have done as a state, and that's because of what people have done. They have masked up. They have complied with our rules regarding business activities. People are pitching in, and that's why we're doing so well.
Charlie from Como asked me to ask this, so just so you know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
There was a report this morning from ABC's Jonathan Karl. He wrote a book about the Trump administration last year, and I guess they're doing an addendum to it, in which the naval hospital ship Mercy was originally scheduled to come to Seattle, and then the president at the time, President Donald Trump, actually had it stopped and sent to Los Angeles because of things that you had said about him. And Charlie was hoping that you would maybe respond to that statement and sort of that question of, like, did you have any response to sort of that report or that information?
I have no information to indicate that that's what happened. So if there's some information, I have not read that report. That would be news to me if that was the circumstance. We did have substantial discussion with the administration about the usage of that ship. Basically, our understanding was the decision at the time was made based on the scope of the geographical area that it could service. So I really can't comment on this because I haven't heard of that particular report. By the way, before we break up, I do want to say something about the events in Atlanta that is such a national trauma for us right now. I know that we know how horrific these events were. I know that we don't know exactly what the circumstance or the motivation of that violence, but I do want to say that we do have a problem with violence against our fellow Americans who are of Asian American heritage right now, and it is everywhere in the United States, including our state. And whatever happened to the specifics in Atlanta, I am hopeful that all of us can band together, standing very loudly against this violence, against the Asian American community. This is something that has touched many of our families, their children. The anxiety they've had right now is profound, and it is a moment I hope we can all wrap our arms around this community and tell them that we will not accept this violence against our Asian American neighbors. We feel very strongly about that. Anything else? Thank you very much. Be healthy, mask up, get a vaccine. Thank you.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multicare specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multicare is one stop, one location.
And we are back on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Just, 2.5 days of winter to be had, and then boom, here comes spring in the wee small hours of Saturday. Officially, I think it's 2:37 in the morning is the vernal equinox. So just a couple more days, we'll do a weather forecast for you in just a few minutes. Just a quick heads up, expecting some rain tonight, not heavy rain, but we're going to get some raindrops here in the Wenatchee Valley. Could even see a thunderstorm pop up. It's a possibility anyway, certainly rain. I got about a 70% chance of that. And then fairly quiet for the weekend. Those details are right around the corner. But now that the sun is up and getting the job done, we thought we'd take one more quick little tour around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Once again, there's the cross camera. You can see the clouds are kind of just, and that's what we're going to be dealing with today. Those high clouds kind of filtering the sunshine and in and out. Kind of familiar, kind of similar to what we had yesterday, perhaps a few more clouds. For the record, we did hit 56 degrees yesterday. We'll be a little bit warmer, they tell us, later on. The National Weather Service pointed out this morning that both the Wenatchee Valley and Omak, for the first time in a long time, have yet to reach 60 this year. Normally, we've hit 60 a couple of times in the late winter days. Haven't done that this year. May get 60, just shy of 60 anyway. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley from the cross camera. All right, if we're using the same cameras and Megan has moved them, I'm assuming we're back to Lower Butte. And I am confirming that we are back to Lower Butte, looking back towards now the lovely hamlet of Chelan. You can see the marina there and beautiful view there from Chelan. Nice view. Good morning, Chelan. Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to see you folks. I'll be up golfing at your fine golf facilities in the not too distant future from our Lower Butte camera. I have two cameras on the Butte, one on what we call the Lower Butte, that camera. Then we have one right at the very top of the Butte, which is about 700 feet higher in elevation than the view that you see there. Camera number 3. Are we back to Steins? Only turn the other way? Yes, so she's turned it back towards the Cascades. At the beginning of the show an hour ago, she had that turned about 180 degrees. We were looking at Kashmir. Now we're not looking at Kashmir. We're looking at the other direction. Steins Hill is a beautiful hill. It's also a bit of a walk. I've hiked up it once, and I was pretty winded by the time we got to the top of it. Beautiful view there as you look out over the enchantments from Steins Hill and camera number 4. We were, there we are. So is that still number 1 canyon? That's number 1 canyon, but I'm not real sure what direction Megan pointed the camera to. It looks like she zoomed it in and moved it. She moved it to the south, so we're looking down towards this. Okay, that makes perfect sense, Megan. So I think that's Rooster Combe sticking up there on the right. I'm not 100% sure. I was born and raised here, so I don't know what I'm looking at. All of those views, courtesy of Sky-Fi, Localtel's screaming fast, high-speed internet. You know how it works. If you want high-speed internet but you don't have fiber to your house, if you have the ability on line of sight to see any of our 100 or so towers scattered all over the Wenatchee Valley, north central Washington, up in the Omak-Okanagan area, and out in the Columbia Basin. If you can see any of our towers from where you want internet, you may be eligible for Sky-Fi, so you can get really fast internet, the fastest internet that you need anyway, without having to have fiber. Give Localtel a call. All right, from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Again, kind of filtered sunshine today, not a lot to talk about. Later on in the day is when the clouds are going to start thickening up. Maybe 60, 61 possible. There is an approaching cold front, not real cold, but enough to cool us down a little bit. The big story tonight is going to be rain. We are going to get rain basically, say 6 o'clock to about 10 o'clock. No heavy rain, but a 70% chance of precipitation coming down tonight, 36 for the overnight low. A little bit of that will spill over into Friday. I don't think it's going to be much at all. And then we'll warm up to about 57 degrees with quite a bit of sunshine. A little light breeze expected on Friday. Also a little breezy on Saturday and Saturday night as this front pulls through and cools us down just a little bit. So just be forewarned, a little windy on Friday night, Saturday, and spilling on into Sunday. But as you can see, there's really just not a lot of weather to talk about outside of the rain tonight. So that's what we're looking at. Pretty quiet weather as we say goodbye to winter and welcome spring. The passes are fine, by the way. No advisories, no restrictions across the board, but they are expecting anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow in the mountain passes today. Most of it will come down on Stevens Pass, so you could get some winter driving conditions just tonight, and that's really about it. And don't forget, you have until the end of the month to get the studs off your tires, and it looks like they're going to stick to that April 1st deadline. That's it for us. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.